Palm oil's long been made out to be an evil crop. It's being used almost as a way to squeeze a couple extra pennies of profit out of consumers into corporations' hands at the cost of hundreds of animals dying and huge areas of land being deforested. Now, while this is partially true, especially in the past, it isn't inherently true now, and it isn't necessarily needing to be as demonized as it is. And in this video, I want to go through why. Historically, palm oil has been produced in areas that really it shouldn't have been. Huge areas of forest have been cut down, like orangutans, all other wildlife that lives in these forests, they've all died because of this. It was terrible, it's not something that should have happened. But an act was passed in 2012, I think it was, but only really went into force in 2019. But that act said that you are no longer allowed to cut down trees to plant a palm oil plantation in any area of, say, protected rainforest. You're only supposed to plant things like this in shrublands or grasslands now, which makes so much more sense because there isn't the same amount of biodiversity loss growing in these areas, which means that you can still produce palm oil, which is something we need. But, well, I say need. The only way we would get away from palm oil is A, by growing a different type of oil, which, by the way, takes a huge amount more space. So you might be talking about like 50 to 1,000 times more room is being taken up by a different crop, which obviously will have a much larger biodiversity impact. Or we start using it altogether. Now, obviously, westernized society, not even westernized, but industrialized, we're going to keep using this, we're going to keep on baked goods, we're going to keep using shampoo, we're going to keep doing all of this. No one's actually going to move to fully natural alternatives. So palm oil is almost like the best option that we do have. And now with these new regulations put in place, it's actually probably a pretty good option. It's probably one of the best options. Now, how does the actual business work? It's really not that complex. So obviously these areas that have been farmed, these areas that have been cultivated, they start producing palm. And thankfully nowadays it isn't in areas that have this high biodiversity. Rainforests aren't really being cut down anymore. It's mainly just things like shrubland. Now, farmers cultivate this land, they get this palm which grows all year round and in very, very high volumes. They then sell it to big corporations, companies like Wilmar. They process it and then they sell it to other corporations who use it in their products. Some examples that use it in their products are things like Nestle, or Aldi uses a lot as well. Now these companies, they put it in their products and then they sell it to consumers. Now this whole palm oil business is actually really, really profitable for farmers, which is a great thing for them because a lot of these countries that produce palm are developing countries. Things like Indonesia, Ghana does a lot as well. They're very, very profitable crops that almost anyone can grow on a bit of land, and they provide a steady and pretty high stream of income to these farmers, which allows for more development and lots of good things. Now, this is kind of where the issue comes in. Part of the issue with that is obviously being the fact that these countries are economically developing. Part of that is fueled by palm oil and agriculture alike. It is meaning that the new issue is taking over. Obviously, deforestation for palm oil was the main issue in the first place, but nowadays it's because of economic expansion. It's cutting into rainforest as urban sprawl expands. So it's not clean, but at least no longer it's because of palm oil directly. Now that's a good thing, and it's not as dirty of a business as it used to be, but you also can't forget that these companies in the first place were more than happy to buy from farmers who were cutting into rainforest, and you can't blame the farmers because ultimately they were just doing it to support their own livelihoods, but they were more than happy. So there should still, I personally think there should be some reparations for the damage they've done, but each to their own on that. Now that's exactly how the business works. It's not that complex, it's just a simple supply chain and it ends up going to the consumer. However, overall, a lot of the damage that has been done is already done and is very extensive. Orangutans and animals like them are already pretty close to extinction. A lot of the damage is kind of irreversible, and there needs to be put more effort into things like reforestation and, more importantly, combating the effects of urban sprawl in these areas, because that is going to be the next issue. And if these things continue to dig into the rainforest, animals like orangutans will go extinct, probably within the next 10 to 15 years. I wouldn't be shocked by that at all. So I think now is the time to put pressure on governments, to put pressure on corporations, to just put a bit more emphasis on protecting the rainforest and protecting the wildlife that they actually have while it can still be protected. And I think that's the main message of this video, that bad things happened and we still have a chance now to recover it, but things are just going to keep getting worse unless methods are put in place. Anyways, that's pretty much the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Goodbye.